This is The Well-Trained Mind, a guide to classical education at home. It is a guidebook to doing classical education, grades K through 12, in all stages for all subjects. The first edition of this book came out in 1999. This is the first edition down here. It no longer has its dust jacket because this is literally the only copy on the entire place and nobody knows what happened to the dust jacket. This is the second edition. This is the third edition. And this is the fourth edition, which, as I speak, is still in galleys and is getting ready to come out in hardcover. So I wanted to tell you briefly what difference is between the third and fourth editions here. So, number one, all of the book and curricula recommendations have been updated. It is just a fact of the publishing world that books and curricula become unavailable far too quickly. So particularly for the elementary grades, we have a lot of new recommendations because our third edition recommendations have gone out of print. In addition, in the last 6 years, which is how long it's been since the last edition, there have been some wonderful new resources developed, particularly in sciences and mathematics, that we really wanted to recommend. So if you have this book, all of these recommendations are fine, but these are going to be easier to find and a little bit more affordable. Secondly, because we now have this wonderful thing called the internet, we've moved all of our quickly outdated appendices online. So that includes lists of publishers and suppliers and their contact information. It includes our list of homeschooling laws. It includes our list of state support groups. All of those you can now find online at welltrainedmind.com, where we'll be able to keep them up to date much more easily. Third, we have developed a whole new set of online resources to go along with this book. The curricula that we recommend, we picked for a combination of factors. We picked them because they were easy for parents to use, they were academically sound and rigorous, and they were affordable. There are many other good curricula out there that are not only perfectly usable, but have really enthusiastic support among home educators that we liked but didn't meet those criteria. So what we've done is we've set up a whole new set of online resources that will direct you towards alternative curricula, which we like, but we thought were too expensive or too quirky or too hard to find, or in many cases, just too teacher intensive for us to recommend them to the majority of homeschoolers. So if you go to welltrainedmind.com, you can find these alternate recommendations and a very brief explanation of why they are online, but they didn't make it into the book. Fourthly, the maths and sciences chapters in the fourth edition have been completely revamped. When we first started on this project of outlining 12 years of education, the math and science resources that were available to homeschoolers were really kind of pathetic. In just the last few years, there's been so much progress made on this front. So the maths and sciences chapters have been completely revamped. We've worked with mathematicians and we've worked with scientists, because we are neither of those things, to really develop a rigorous classical approach to these two fields of study. And we have recommended what we think are the absolute best resources that we could find. And that is true for the elementary grade recommendations, the middle grade recommendations, and the high school recommendations. And then finally, we've rearranged each chapter in the book a little bit. In earlier editions, we would begin each chapter by explaining how to teach a subject. And we often combined that with how to use our preferred recommendations, our top resources. What we found is that there are a lot of parents who really need that how to teach a subject information, but who don't want to follow our specific curricula recommendations. They want to use their own. So we've divided each chapter much more clearly into two. The first half of every chapter explains how to teach a subject in the classical tradition and why you pursue certain methods. Then the second half of the chapter gives specific recommendations. So we're hoping that this will make the book even more usable to a larger segment of the homeschool population. You don't have to take our specific recommendations in order to use the fourth edition of The Well-Trained Mind. You can simply use it as a guidebook to methodology. So, third edition, fourth edition, first edition You can use any of them, even though I say it myself, they're all good. But this one has got the most up-to-date recommendations for you and the most online help attached to it.